Autism is a lifelong condition. It doesn't disappear in adulthood, but sometimes autistic adults experience something called regression. This doesn't mean they are less autistic. It means their autistic traits might become more noticeable. Their ability to cope with daily life may also become more challenging. Regression can be temporary or long-term. It's important to remember that every autistic person is unique. Their experiences with regression will also be unique. There is no single explanation for why regression happens. It's likely a combination of factors. Understanding regression starts with understanding autism as a spectrum. This means autistic traits, challenges, and strengths vary widely. Regression doesn't mean someone wasn't autistic before. It means their experience of autism is changing. Autism is not a disease that gets worse over time. It's a neurodevelopmental difference. This means the brain of an autistic person develops and functions differently. This difference is present from birth. Regression might make autism seem more pronounced, but this is often due to external factors and life stressors. These factors can make it harder for autistic individuals to cope. Think of it like a dimmer switch. The light is always there, but sometimes it shines brighter and sometimes it's dimmer. The same is true for autistic traits. They don't disappear, they just become more or less apparent depending on circumstances. Imagine navigating a world not designed for you. This is the daily reality for many autistic adults. They often struggle with social cues, sensory overload, and communication differences. Regression can manifest as an increased difficulty in these areas. An autistic adult might find it harder to follow social scripts. They might experience sensory sensitivities more intensely. Communication can become more challenging. This doesn't mean their autism is worse. It means their ability to mask or camouflage their autistic traits is reduced. This can lead to misunderstandings and make social interaction more difficult. Many autistic individuals learn to mask their traits from a young age. They might suppress their natural behaviors to fit in. They might mimic neurotypical social cues. This constant effort to mask can be exhausting. Unmasking is the process of letting go of these learned behaviors. It's about embracing one's authentic autistic self. While liberating, unmasking can also lead to challenges. Others might perceive the unmasked autistic person as more autistic. This is because their true self is now more visible. Section 5. The Burnout Abyss. A breaking point for autistic minds. Autistic individuals are more susceptible to burnout. This is a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion. It's often caused by prolonged exposure to stress and overwhelming demands. The constant effort of masking, navigating a world not built for them, and facing social stigma can contribute to burnout in autistic adults. Burnout can trigger regression. When an autistic person is burnt out, they have fewer resources to mask their traits. They might withdraw from social situations. Sensory sensitivities might become heightened. Section 6. Regression or revelation. The appearance of more autistic. It's important to remember that regression doesn't always mean getting worse. Sometimes it's about becoming more authentically oneself. As autistic individuals become more self-aware, they might consciously choose to unmask. They might embrace their autistic traits instead of hiding them. This can lead to changes in behavior that others might perceive as regression. For example, someone who used to force eye contact might stop doing so. They might engage in stimming behaviors more openly. These changes are not signs of deterioration. They are expressions of self-acceptance. Section 7. Sarah's story, from social butterfly to silent retreat. Sarah, a successful graphic designer, was always the life of the party. She excelled at her job, maintained a large social circle, and rarely felt out of place. But behind her seemingly effortless social ease, Sarah was masking her autistic traits. The constant effort to mask took its toll. Sarah began experiencing panic attacks. She felt overwhelmed by sensory input in the office. Socializing became exhausting. Eventually, Sarah was diagnosed with autism and burnout. She realized that her social butterfly persona was a mask. She began to unmask, embracing her need for solitude and sensory regulation. To her friends, Sarah's transformation seemed like regression. She became quieter, more reserved. She declined social invitations, preferring the comfort of her own company. But for Sarah, it was a period of self-discovery and liberation. She was finally living authentically as herself. Section 8. Navigating the labyrinth, support and understanding. Regression in autistic adults can be a confusing and isolating experience. It's crucial for individuals experiencing regression to have access to support. This includes understanding from family and friends. It also means access to healthcare professionals experienced in autism. Therapy, support groups, and accommodations at work or school can be invaluable. The focus should be on understanding the individual's needs and helping them navigate this challenging time. Judgment and criticism will only exacerbate the situation. Section 9. A call for acceptance. Embracing neurodiversity in all its forms. Autistic regression challenges us to rethink our understanding of autism. It's not about getting worse, it's about navigating a world not built for autistic minds. Regression is a call for acceptance, understanding, and support. It's a reminder that autistic individuals deserve to be celebrated for their unique strengths and perspectives. By embracing neurodiversity in all its forms, we create a more inclusive and compassionate world for everyone.